How you doing? I'm Charlie Anteby, of course, with the Charlie in the Morning Show. We're coming to you this morning from Deal, New Jersey. I happen to still have no electricity. What are we looking? Today is Thursday, November 8th, 2012. No electricity yet. I'm over in the ocean by Elberon. So we are set up shop in my mother's place on Norwood Avenue in Deal. Thank God here we got the electricity two nights ago. We got the internet and the television last night. Tonight we'll have some Thursday night football in a warm house with lights on and cooked food, and it'll start to feel a little bit more normal. You know, once you haven't had electric and heat in the house for a given period of time in this kind of weather, it takes a full 2-3 days for the cold to come out of the floor, the cold to come out of the walls. You're not comfortable right away. People have gone through some hardship down here on the shore. I know they're struggling very much for gasoline in Brooklyn, and I just want to say they're struggling here for electricity still, and heat, and the very basic necessities. Thank God throughout the whole crisis in my place, although I wasn't getting anything else, we were getting hot water. So I would run back there wherever I was and try and take a shower in the morning and just get a sense of I'm in my own place for a little while and put some clean clothes on and get the heck out of there again. I feel terrible for my neighbors. I'm talking too long about the hurricane. That's Hurricane Sandy. I wanted really to talk more specifically about the... I'm going to come in a little closer or no? Okay. I want to talk about the election. Of course, by now everybody knows that SY Mall was the first news source and media source to declare the winner, Barack Obama. We did so at 9:29 p.m. election night. I think the next one in was at 11:13, and that was CBS News. So all our calculations, all our polling numbers were pointing to a guaranteed Obama victory. At about 9:07, I waited a few minutes and we declared him the winner. It's been a very interesting campaign. I think that we got to get used to the fact that social media is going to play a very large part in what's going on with elections from here on in. You're going to have people commenting. You're going to have all kinds of things said. That's what's going on now with elections. All of a sudden the people became the news. We don't have to go to channel. There's not... we used to go 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13. That was your life. Every Sunday night, the whole country sat down in front of the TV. We watched Ed Sullivan, the entire country. And that's how the world was. Now, we have 300 channels, and we have the internet, and we have anybody could make a comment, and it could go as public as many friends as they have, and we have Twitter, and we have all these stuff. I had a lot of dialogue with the people on the social media, quite a bit of dialogue. Because I tried to make a specific point, but they don't know how to talk on point. They want to argue. You said the sky is blue, they want to talk to you about the color of the ground. We're not talking about the ground, we're talking about the sky. I have been saying for many months a few things. Number one, Mitt Romney had no chance whatsoever of winning the election. Number two, he had an unlikability factor. His unlikability factor was equal to that of a Hillary Clinton. People love her, people love him. But a lot of high percentage of people will never like them. You don't run a candidate like that. You can't win with him. He wasn't supposed to be the candidate. He forced himself into that position. He went with his will and not the will of the people. That was what was going on with Romney. I saw it happening as he was eliminating Newt, as he was eliminating Herman Cain, as he was eliminating Rick Santorum. One by one, he was bullying them out of the race. He was fighting dirtier than they were. They were keeping some sort of a position of nicety and protocol because it was same party to same party. And he was ripping them to shreds because that's his personality, that's his sense of entitlement, and probably that's why he's so unlikable. When he finally emerged as the candidate after a 7-year effort and one failed attempt at the presidency, I already knew your new president is Barack Obama for 4 more years. That there was no way in hell this guy was going to beat Obama. I already knew that. As I was stating that, people would get, well, what about Iran? Well, what about the economy? Well, what about well, what about? I said, I'm not talking about the issues. I'm talking about the fact that you have a guy here who cannot win. So get used to the fact that you're going to have 4 more years of the income. Well, you don't know. Finally, I realized I'm talking to morons. I realized when I started to see who all these people are that were arguing with me so ferociously, that it was a collection of people that maybe just didn't know better, they weren't that clever. And I stopped arguing with them and I let the race end and run its course. In fact, when you incorporate Florida into the totals, it was a landslide. I said it was going to be a landslide, and it was a landslide. 330 electoral votes, 330, 60 over what was required. That's not a lightweight number. That's a landslide. I dropped my pen, Mommy. I dropped my pen. In the meantime, we're talking about a landslide with one of the worst presidents in the history of America getting reelected. And now they're going to give me more of this Fox TV hogwash. Well, what about the popular? We don't go by the popular vote. That's what about the popular vote. Okay? We got some situations going on. Well, what about Israel? That's a big question. Let me give you my take on that. The leader of Israel is not supposed to go partisan on American politics. That's a long-standing policy as long as I'm alive, as long as there was a state of Israel. We never went partisan. Netanyahu is going to have a problem working with the administration and the American president that has now been reelected for 4 more years. He is going to have a problem. Perhaps he's not going to be able to be the Israeli leader in order for Israel to get a working relationship with the American government. Perhaps he's going to have to step down and let somebody else step in, because he did go partisan. I'm not saying that as a negative reflection on him, positive reflection on him, negative reflection on the president, positive reflection on the president. I'm just stating the facts, and those are the facts. The Republican Party mismanaged a huge opportunity. They spent, I guess, $3 billion or $1.5 billion on this election. They had a thing today in the paper, Sheldon Adelson and the other guy from Home Depot stores and the other guy from the other. Each one of these guys came to the plate with how many hundreds of millions and tens of millions and 26 million and 32 million. And a ton of money was spent between the PACs and between the candidates themselves. Give me a second here. Hi, this is Charlie. Hello? The problem was that they spent it on the election. That was the problem. I'd like to see them take approximately 10 to 15% of that sum of money and put it into a think tank incubation system where they now pre-vet and pre-filter all the potential candidates going forward so that they come up with something much more viable than Mitt Romney in 2016, and start from today. When I watch a Republican debate in 2015, I don't want to see Ron Paul shooting his mouth off and filibustering the conversation. I want him out of the process before he got to the debate. He's not my candidate. He's not going to win. And get him out of the way. Herman Cain, who could forget Mr. 999? But he has no place in the election process. He doesn't know that China's a nuclear power yet. How could he run for president? I could ask that question to any 7th grader, they could answer it. But the fact of the matter is, We need to put money in the development stages of who our candidate's going to be, as opposed to all of the money, 100 cents on the dollar, into the process of promoting our candidate who came up happenstance. I'm Charlie Anteby, Charlie in the Morning Show. Love your feedback, good or bad, no problem. You write to me, I'll write back to you. We'll engage in a dialogue, it's not a problem. How do you reach me? Charlie at eggsalad.com. Thank you very much for tuning in.